Well, hello and welcome, everyone. We are coming together today to do some energy work. And I already had banned someone, so this will be a warning to please try to do your best during this time to be self-reflective, to be aware of your inner space, because that's what we're really going to do. I'm going to take you through into deeper aspects of yourself through a guided meditation, and whatever triggers come up for you, then it's for you to look at. So try to be aware of not projecting your discomfort and cognitive dissonance that can come from a lot of these concepts and understandings onto other people, because ultimately that's why we're in all of this mess in the first place. So if you have no, background in spiritual concepts, you might find yourself triggered here. Now, my background is quite extensive as far as this sort of material goes. I've been practiced in different forms of meditation for probably about 25 years now. I had a Kundalini awakening in the year 2000. That was sort of my biggest, sort of enlightenment piece. And that helped me to sort of understand, if you will, because, understand is not really the right term for it. And even understand is overworked, but whatever. Language is a limitation for us, obviously, especially in the English language. But it helped me to realize what I was involved with, and that this place is really a projection, and that the reality is the inside world. So how I feel inside my body and what I believe, my cultural background, all the things that have happened to me in my life, they shape the way that I think about my world. And so when I think about my world, it's those projections that I display. So no matter what the scenario is, however I'm overlaying it into my mind is how I will see it, right? Which means that one of the goals of life, from again, my perspective and my experiences, is to not do that as much as possible, so that I do not overlay with assumptions and beliefs, that I try to feel through my body the truth through instantaneous knowledge rather than through cognitive processing. This is where we get really lost. We overthink scenarios. And what has happened, to this world, and also why I haven't really even touched on this particular subject, is ever since COVID. I would say it's started even before then, but since, the COVID, I have to be careful because I'm actually on YouTube and Facebook, so I can't say certain things. But anyway, during that time, many were traumatized. And there's a lot of death and destruction that happened during the past 3.5 years and ongoing, that has really shaken up a lot of people's lives. And so that's already one sort of layer of trauma. And if people haven't done that healing work, that's carried forward. Okay. And this is what our handlers, if you will, the designers of the suffering, they have been, death by 1,000 cuts sort of doing to us, because they have an end goal, and their end goal is the UN 2030 agenda. And that's every man, woman, and child enslaved completely in a surveillance state. So all roads lead to Rome. Everything has been done to usher us there and to engineer consent. Okay. And I've also taught and worked to help more so our community who understands about what's going on, to really watch for the propaganda and try to not allow it to seep in and let us become hyper reactive, because the strategy here is to divide and conquer. And the only way they're going to gain enough emotional energy, which is a feed. So if you were able to visualize your auric field, your energy field, which we all have, which we can see with proper devices, and some people who are clean up here can actually visualize. If you would see someone in contraction and anger, that field would look collapsed, puckered, and totally different in its coloration than someone who was in the vibration of unconditional love. Okay? So the other thing that happens is if you are angry or upset, you focus that discomfort outwardly. You project it onto other things, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. So say, I had talked about a little example earlier today when someone was actually attacking me and judging me for teaching this. I said, imagine someone came and slashed your tires, for example. You might not even know who that is, or maybe you do. But the first thing you would do is get very upset and agitated inside your body that happened. You might go into victim consciousness, and then you would blame the individual who did that to you, and you would direct energy toward that individual. So when we do that to our controllers, handlers, prison guards, these people, it's actually a feed. We're actually energetically feeding that. And this is one of the things that, this guided visualization is geared to do, is to help us cut that feed, because the divide and conquer is, there's multi-pronged approaches. One is to take our energy through that, because we have an outside enemy now that we're fighting, and we want to stop it. So then we protest, we yell and scream, this sort of thing. And then we have differences of opinion inside of that. So then within the subgroups, people are fighting and hating on each other and doing the same to each other, where we are now hooking in with a cord and hating on those who are thinking differently than us, or having other approaches or other ideas or other belief systems. Okay. So this is the frothing that's been going on, and it creates a lot of chaos, and it also collapses your field in such a way that now it is much easier to puppet you. That's when people say NPCs and stuff. These are people whose frequency and oscillation is pretty much collapsed. They have not expanded and been able to control their own energy fields. So that means they're vulnerable. Okay. And so this is why they come at us in so many different directions, because this is a spiritual war. Many people have said that. And it's because everything is actually spiritual. This is what we are. Okay, this is who we are, and the control comes from that. All right, you could put someone in physical chains, and they could actually have peace inside their body. Okay, I know a lot of people, they don't have those concepts and understandings, perhaps because they haven't done certain meditation practices or experienced discomfort and overcome it. But I have done this, and you can totally release pain from your body through the mind, or rather through the body itself, and not actually from the mind itself, not from thinking, through feeling. So this split is their goal, continually split and divide, and create so much trauma that we beget more of the same violence. And so that's what's been going on in many areas in the world, not just the Middle East. Middle East is the spotlight right now. And so many people are hooked into the drama of it, the trauma of it, accepting secondary and tertiary traumas from witnessing other people dying and all these sorts of things. And somehow we have a really warped idea of compassion. We think that if we accept secondary and tertiary traumas, we're now compassionate to someone's cause. But that's actually more like pity, and also feeding the very energy of the same thing. And what I'm here to teach, and what the solution is, because I'm very solution oriented, and I usually don't even come out with a lot of things before I figured out solutions, is to clear it through and within ourselves. Because again, like I said, the outside is the projection. we overlay reality with our own ideas. The only way we can come to terms with what is happening is through the sensations inside of ourselves. Now, I don't know if you know about the Hawaiian art of Ho'oponopono. It sort of touches on that, or that knowledge and understanding and those teachings can help you come to terms with what that means. And so it really began, the history of it began with a doctor who had a bunch of psychiatric patients that he was unable to heal. And he then, in being a spiritual man, he found that in one of the patients, there was a lot of similarity. He could see through empathic understanding that was also inside him. Whatever that individual is experiencing, he could feel inside him. And so he tried a radical approach, which was, instead of trying to drug and do talk therapy and do all these sorts of therapies with the individual he thought was, imbalanced, he instead went into the aspect of himself that person was. So he found within him that man, okay, in his body, and he saw the source, and he worked to feel what that person was feeling and allow it to exist and be inside of him. And then he did a simple prayer or mantra, which was full acceptance of that, and also asking for forgiveness, and asking for love. And in that repetitive process, he found that he actually was healing those individuals one by one, to the point where he had no more patients left after a process of doing this, and they eventually closed the clinic because there was no one to treat. So that's the story of the Ho'oponopono method. So we can do, because one of the problems when we witness trauma, in a far distant place, right, where we're not there, we're not present, like we only know partial stories, right? We only know people there maybe telling their stories, secondary information, or things we're seeing in propaganda, on television, these sorts of things, right? So we only have our own fractured idea that we've kind of pieced together. And we can get, the more we go in, we can get more pieces and try to get as accurate as we can, but still our own ideologies are with that, are overlaid onto that. And so if we come as we are heroic warriors where we want to save the day, then anybody who says anything else other than better come out with a protest sign or a knife or a gun or a way of coming in to eradicate this is wrong and bad, right? Because you're not doing what I'm doing. And I'm seeing a lot of this in the community where the idea of actually healing what's going on with this particular situation through the self is, I've been called all kinds of very nasty names. And those people are very unhealed and ironically would benefit from what I'm teaching today. This is not New Age at all. This doesn't even touch the New Age ideology. In fact, that is actually quite very different from what I'm teaching, because that it ignores the pain and suffering, and it ignores the shadow, the dark aspects. It just focuses on love and light and don't think negatively in this sort of talk. That's not what this is. So we really have to realize that what they want when they traumatize us like this, directly or indirectly, and when they work divide and conquer tactics like they want what they want, and they are psychologically affecting us to get that, which is war. So they are gearing up for another war, world war. And everyone that I see with a placard saying stop on it, stop massacring Palestinians, stop bombing Gaza, stop, stop, stop. Every time I see them, I say what they're actually saying is, we want World War III. We want World War III. That's exactly what they're doing. And what they're doing is, instead of going inside and into the pain that they're feeling from that witness, from being the witness, and dissolving it, they are perpetuating the same to continue. They're perpetuating more of the same. And so the way to find that wisdom and real solutions is actually to go the opposite direction, like I'm saying. Because, so here's an example of our body brilliance, of our inner knowing, of our wisdom of our bodies. Think of somebody that you know really super well, someone really close to you, someone you know them very, very well. Now, I want you to sense them. What do they just, you're not thinking about them, you're sensing them. What feeling do you get of them? So if you hold that feeling inside of your body, you can paint an entire picture of who they are. Now, if I were to tell you, please describe that person to me in words, or write down in words how you would describe that person, it would probably take you a whole novel to describe what you just felt in your body. This is evidence that the body's wisdom is of far superior awareness and knowledge than our thinking brain. Okay. It's kind of the opposite of what a lot of people have been teaching, and a lot of teachers have even taught through mindfulness meditation practices. And I was stuck with my own. I learned many different types of modalities, the longest one being Vipassana, until I hit a wall where I didn't feel like I was progressing in my meditation practice anymore. And I actually found a really helpful resource that I'll share with you called Undo app. And if you do want a discount, I have a code. It's Yummy23, all capital, Yummy23. It'll give you a month off, but it's worth every penny. It's very cheap anyway. It helps you, and it's been helping me like reinitiate my meditation practice by going inside and feeling the feeling. And I'm going to walk you through a little bit of that today, to find where this is inside your body. And actually, when we go into the sensation and understand it from the body, the releases come. And then what is freed up is the energy for the creativity to come back and proper, highly intelligent solutions to be found. Because when we're in trauma and we're stressed and we're freaking out, we cannot come to that awareness. So we'll think, what do we do? Panic. What do we do? How do we stop this? This is wrong. This is unjust. We need this to end. We need to stop the maniacs doing this, right? And we will then just be running to the streets with placards, because we will not be able to come up with really, truly empowered solutions that would save many lives. Rather, we think that the same old, which is asking the very same people who are manufacturing the consent for the war that they want, we're asking them to stop it, right? Which is meaning we're falling into the Hegelian dialectic problem reaction solution paradigm that they have engineered for us. Perfect. They want discord on the streets. They want people yelling and screaming at them, saying, do something, you do something. And be like, perfect. Absolutely, we'll do something. And that will just perpetuate more suffering and death and destruction, and also affect us very much so here, where we're a little more cushioned in North America compared to many other places. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that there are amazing amounts of terrible genocide going on in the Congo, in Nigeria. I mean, do you see how they've made us focus yet again on the thing they want our eyes on? You know? But we don't think about the other people. We're not up in arms. I don't see people with placards about the Congo right now saying, stop the genocide in Congo, stop the rape of women, stop the killing of children that's happening in the Congo and happening in other places. That means that we're not actually informed. We're actually being manipulated. And so the solutions now become the work, okay? The work to approach the energy that they have dumped on us, that they've transferred on us, so that we do not sink down, so that we do not also become vulnerable. They're bombarding us not with bombs, right? They're bombarding us emotionally. And so the oscillations will change. Our frequency set will change and we will spiral down. And then when we are spiraled down, we are vulnerable to, we become leaky because our energy field is puckered. Then they can get into us and affect our body and mind and spirit with all sorts of other things. And that means we put ourselves in danger that way. And we cannot allow ourselves to go down with the ship. And we also want real solutions. We want to fix this genuinely. And really good people want this to stop, right? But we've done this for so long. We keep repeating ourselves here and not learning the lessons we're supposed to learn, and not realizing that these are all spiritual gates and tests that we're trying to pass. And instead we're believing the external projection and our overlays of that, and interacting directly with the TV screen, essentially. So instead of doing the self-realization work, okay? So I totally understand. There's a lot of emotions here and a lot of mixed thinking about it. And I'm not even going to really touch on any of that today. But someone had asked me, about, are you going to also, give love and peace and healing to like the Israeli people who are suffering and this kind of thing. It's like, I don't think you understand that exercise. But that's okay. That's okay. That's what we're here to do. All benefit from us doing this work. Okay. You benefit and the world benefits because you are able to lift yourself into a space where peace is possible. And if you continue to spiral, then you will be vulnerable and you will be the one who's the victim next. And you will be the one who then needs help and is crying for help as the victim. And we don't need any more victimhood situations anymore. We are looking for resolve. Okay. So I really thank you very much for being here. And I hope that my internet is going okay. Looks okay from my side. So I really would love to invite you to find a space where you're relaxed, that maybe you won't be intruded upon if possible, and get comfortable, because we're going to do some work here today, because this is about solutions, which means we actually have them within us, which means we can do the work and actually get some stuff done, rather than feel frustrated that we don't know what to do, because we don't need to be in despair and hopelessness as much as we're witnessing it and taking on transference. Additionally, we get this, I don't know what to do. I can't fix this. And this is overwhelming. And it can make us very depressed and give us a lot of anxiety as well. And again, how does it help them for us to be in depression and anxiety and pain and suffering? It doesn't, because we can't get ourselves right enough to really formulate the solutions. It just immobilizes us. And then we're sitting ducks for the regime that would love us to just sit and roll over and accept our fate. Right? Someone asked for the site. I'll put it in the chat for you. It's undoapp.com. You can get it. And the code for a month off is in here, Yummy23. It's the best thing ever. I mean, the gentleman who designed this his meditation practice was 45 years, and he helped thousands of people heal through different forms of meditation. But then he again hit that wall, and he felt something was off. He was a monk, actually, for many years. And then once he challenged his practice, his teacher, with these deeper questions about the brilliance of the body, he was ostracized. So that tells you something, right? He was kicked out of his own fraternity for asking these deep questions. And that's, by the way, how you know you're in a cult is if you can't ask questions, right? So he realized that that wasn't the path. And he instead switched focus and designed this natural, so meaning close to nature, as of nature, method to a similar idea. Okay, it would be also somatic expression, or what I do have on my website, yummy.doctor. If you look up TRE, or trauma release exercises, it's another body-based method, which I've taught actually in a few different festivals, how to connect to the trauma that's held physically inside your body, and literally shake it off, and literally physically get it away from your body, get it out of your body, and how much clearer and brighter and lifted you are after you do that. Talk therapy is not going to really get you there. That this is actually stored in the physical self. And that's the same thing we're doing here, really, ultimately, is we're going into the somatic sense, and we're allowing that to release. And I think you're going to see more and more of this as we move along, because now we're revealing a lot of hidden truths now. This time, it's the time of the great reveal, and we're finding out what works from trial and error and from mistakes of the past, right? We're unearthing a lot of things that were buried, and this is one of those things. And so I think we will see more and more methods, or similar types of methods, and you'll find the one that you resonate the most with, and that'll be the one that you like the most. And you're right, someone mentioned it's very quick, and that's what's wonderful, because really the truth is instantaneous. Once you hit the core of the truth, it dissolves in a moment. You don't need to do years and years of this type of talk therapy to get to the source of it. You just need to feel it, and you'll immediately be able to release it and have relief. Lori said, been doing it for 5 days now, completely changed my meditation practice. Yeah, me too. Fundamentally. In fact, I only have a little mild pain. I have this tooth that irritates me sometimes. Long story. But so today it started to bother me. And there's a part in the app that is about pain. So I did that part today, and it took it from like a 9 out of 10 to just like it's about a 3 now, where I just went right into it. And it's the same thing that I learned about hypnobirthing and different forms of inward types of birthing, where you're in pain and you're screaming outward, right? But if you actually go toward the pain, towards the source of pain, into the pain, you accept it, then it dissolves. And that's the sort of the thing we're going to be doing right now to help dissolve the pain. First, there's 2 stages here that we're going to do. One is to work on the self, to find these spaces inside of ourselves and to clear them, okay, from all the secondary traumas and stuff that we've experienced just by being witnesses. And then we're going to move into a sharing, an unconditional love sharing, so that we're offering peace, or we're offering love to all that would want it. We will offer it to that region, particularly in her mind. But it is really for all that need it and desire it. And because everything's contractual, you can never push anything on anybody. You can only offer it to be there. And that if they choose to accept it, then it's there for them. Okay. And also you can do this anytime, because anytime you feel, and use it as your own practice, because anytime you're triggered again, right? Then you can come back to this, and you can feel like you are assisting, and you really are assisting, and not feel that hopelessness energy again. So anytime you feel like that, like it's too overwhelming, it's such a big problem, there's so many layers to the politics, there's so many layers to the culture, I don't know how I could possibly do anything, I don't know, how this will ever change for the better, this is the thing you can go to do. Okay. All right. So hopefully you're in a nice calm space now, in a relaxed space. So I want you to just focus on your breath now. Just do some deep breaths, just a few deep breaths, just in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just every time you do an in-breath and an out-breath, just see how that sensation is in the body. Feeling the nose, breathing out. Just release any stress or tension that you feel. Put yourself out of fight or flight and into rest and digest with your deep breathing. And if you feel any tension or stress, you can always guide yourself back to the breath. So now that I have you in this really relaxed space where you're focused on your breath, I want you now to imagine that you're in a very peaceful space, in a very calm space, and that everything is well, everything is fine. Everything in the world is how it is. There aren't any worries you have to chew on or think about. There's really nothing to think about right now. And later on, if you want to think about those things, just say, yep, I'll pick that up later. So I want you to try to just calm your thinking. And anything you are thinking about, just say, hey, thanks for being there. I'll come and talk to you later. And know that it's there for you. And now I want you to begin to scan your body. You can start at the legs and the feet and just feel the sensations of the feet and the legs. What are the sensations of your feet and your legs currently? Where is there most sensation? Is it in the knees, in the calves, in the thighs, in the feet themselves? Just notice where that sensation is in the body. Try not to have any thoughts about the sensation. Just notice that it is there and just be with it for a moment. Now move up to your pelvic region. And I want you to scan the area and notice any sensations that you have. Is there any pain, any discomfort? Can you feel where you may be pressed against a bed or a chair? Or if you're standing, where the muscles are activated? Just feel in your body, the whole pelvic region. Just be with that sensation. Just fully accept those sensations and feel them. Just let go of any thoughts and keep your breath nice and calm. Now move up to your torso. What sensations are you feeling in your torso? Are you feeling sensations on the outside where your skin is? What kind of sensations are there? Where your clothing is touching you? Where you may be laying on the bed or sitting on the chair? And just be with those sensations. Now I want you to take the sensations into the deeper organs of the torso. What sort of sensations are inside of your abdomen, all that region? Is there any pain or discomfort? What are those sensations? Just be present with them. There's nothing you need to do other than to feel what you're feeling. You may notice as you continue to focus on a sensation or a feeling that it slowly begins to dissolve. And that's perfectly acceptable. You can just move on to the next sensation if that happens. Now you can move upward towards the neck and head and notice any sensations in that region. What does it feel like? You don't need to label it. You don't need to name it. All you need to do is feel it. Just be present with the feeling. It's simply a feeling. You may find as you go into the feeling that your body will relax a little bit more. You can allow that relaxation. You feel and accept and relax. It's very simple. Now you can travel down to your arms and your hands and notice any sensations or feelings there. Are your hands by your side? Are they grasped together? Just feel those feelings and sensations. Without judgment, no ideas are needed. Your breath is calm and relaxed. Very good. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to find inside your body. I want you to scan the body, and I want you to find the area where you feel any of the pain or upset of what's happened recently. If you've been exposed to any news articles or stories about what's been happening in Gaza and in the Middle East, whatever stories and energy that you've been given, I want you to try to find where that might be inside your body. You may notice a little bit of tension when you think about it, and that might be the hint to where this energy is stored. And I want you to find it wherever it is in your body. Could be in your head, could be in your neck, might be in your chest region or your heart region, could be in your stomach area, it could be tension in your hands, could be anywhere in your body. Just find the source. And once you've found that source, I want you to go into the feeling of it and just sit with that feeling. Just feel all that it has to give you and offer you. Understand that the feelings that you're feeling are your own and you are in control of them. What is happening on the outer world, in the outer world, has happened and is happening. But the discomfort, pain, or sadness that you feel are actually coming from your own reactions to the information and not the information itself. This means that all the discomfort, pain, or upset that you are feeling is completely of your own design and control. This means that you have full permission to allow the feelings and sensations to completely dissolve and be released, as they are completely of your own making. This is the power of this knowledge and going into the sensations and feeling fully what they are for you. Just sit with them for a few more minutes. And breathe in and out in a slow, calm way. And notice what happens to the sensations. Now I want you to take those sensations to another layer deeper. Is there anywhere else in the body that they may come up for you? Is there a thread that comes from it that's leading to another part of your body? You may wish to ask those sensations what they're about. What is it really about? Are you upset because it has something to do with a family member? Is it because you're worried about something that could happen to you? What is the real reason for the sensations in your body? The deeper reason? Is there anger, fear? What types of emotions are in these feelings, in these sensations? What are these sensations really about? Very good. Now, at some point in the future, you will want to return to these sensations if they have not fully dissolved yet, or if you find that you've become tense or stressed again by something that you've witnessed or seen that has upset you. And you will always want to ask, what is it about what you saw or witnessed that upset you specifically? What was it really about? The body holds infinite wisdom and will always give you the answers that you need. All you need to do is simply tune into it. Now I want you to find inside of your body. It may be the same space, it might be a different place in your body. I want you to scan your body and imagine that everything that exists in all of reality is inside of you. In you. You are infinite on the inside, and your holographic nature is the fractal within. And what you're going to do is you're going to ask your body to show you where in the world there is discord, division, pain, and suffering. Find that place inside of you and where that sensation may lie. And you can specifically ask for this region that we wish to dissolve and support through this work in the region of Palestine. You can call the area what you wish. There's many names for this area. So your body will go to that place, and now I want you to repeat, either in your mind or aloud, I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. You can imagine in this sensation, envision a release of pain and suffering. Imagine a lifting of all those people. That as you dissolve the pain and suffering inside you, you offer the same to them. And if they so choose, that this is offered to them so they can release their own pain and suffering. And that their hearts can lift and their energy fields become strong. Their oscillations become pure. You can imagine the entire region being offered this forgiveness, this love, and this gratefulness. All those involved can be touched by this. And imagine this is happening through your body. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Allow any of the sensations to come up. Allow all the feelings to be present. We ask that all that is good and true be offered and be given for aid, support, and comfort. And to forgive us for any energy that we may inadvertently have participated in contributing to any of that pain and suffering. Place within you over that area a beautiful golden dome of protection. This is an area of beautiful light and beautiful energy that all who are present are able to tap into for protection at any time. We can set this up permanently and ask that it stay, because grace must always be offered. We can envision a complete ceasefire in this area. We can envision smiling faces once again. We can envision togetherness. We can envision laughing, playing, and smiling children. We can envision families being together. We can envision a de-escalation of energies that we know we do not want. We can imagine the feeling sensations as this energy, and as we dissolve it within ourselves, we can envision it dissolving away from this area, offered by proxy with permission, and only for the highest benefit for all. We lift ourselves, and with this we lift the all. We thank the God within us, the God that is the all, the oneness of God that is here, that could go nowhere because we are that. And we can feel that beautiful gratitude and an expanding heart, knowing that this is true, that we are all connected, and that we all serve a greater purpose. Holding the sensation of tranquility in your body, of resolve, of balance, of truce, and of reconciliation. I want you now to come back into your own body sensations and focus again on your breath. Know that at any time you feel tension, this is the work that you can go into your body, clear these sensations, and offer grace to others. Now take a few deep cleansing breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And when you are ready, you can begin to come back into this space and open your eyes. Okay. Well done, everyone. So you see, this was really just a taste of the work to get you in the understanding of it and to help you feel empowered, which is one of the things that I always try to teach, is how to take your own power back, how to no longer give it away to the very people we don't want to give it to, and to love yourself through this process. And that really love is the answer. Love is the cure, you know? Love is the drug, right? And that when we do this, we heal not just ourselves. Well, you know that when we heal ourselves, this is how we heal the world. But we literally heal the world through doing this. It's really a lot of heavy energy that we've been, facing and trying to come to terms with and trying to cope with. And this is a very simple, even a child can do it. You can teach children to do this, to have effect on the bigger picture. People might say things that are very negative about this process, or judge it. But I would just say to those people who, want to whisk it away, just to try it and do that work, because we just lifted ourselves and our frequency. If we were to have a gadget to test the before and after, we would be able to tangibly see a difference just in that little amount of time that we did this work. And this is correct. This is real freedom. This is real freedom, right? Freedom from the illusions. Okay? Yes, so much ancestral grief is there. So much. Our own, others. There's a lot to do here. There is a lot to do here. Yes, we have imprinted this now. You're right. You're correct. I know it's simple in a way, but yet that is the way. And the longer I live and the more I experience, the more this truth just anchors. And one of the things I wanted to reiterate was about how we are in control of our sensations. And that's also why I really like this Undo app so much, because it reminded me this importance that I learned in actually Tibetan Buddhism. They teach this as well about suffering. that it is our own thoughts that cause our suffering, right? Which means we have control over them. So, for example, when somebody does something to you, okay? Like I said, that tire slashing, example, right? It's your own thoughts about what happened that gives you the actual pain. Because the thing that happened is. It happened. It was a thing that happened, right? The tires are slashed. This is a fact. The tires became slashed. These are facts. They're cold, hard facts. No emotion needs to happen here. That's just what happened. That's the story, okay? But then your mind begins. Oh my gosh. Oh, how could this have happened to me? What did I do to deserve this pain? How dare that person do that? Anger, hatred. Now I have to go and do all these things. Fear, stress. How am I going to afford new tires? Poverty consciousness, all kinds of things that can come. These are all your own thoughts. That person did not cause them. You caused them. So this is a great lesson here, because this means you can choose how you respond to things that can be very upsetting. It doesn't mean inaction. It doesn't mean discompassion. None of this. Quite the opposite. But as we foment and create from an experience, we react. And when we do that, instead of going inside and say, what was the lesson of this? Why did this happen? Where do I feel this inside my body? What is the right solution for me now in this? What is the intuition of my body telling me to do here? We miss all of that when we just go with the mind. We miss the wisdom of the body telling us and giving us the solutions and the answers. You see? So it's almost is sort of like, the Adam and Eve story, right? Which is the atom is the electrical, the magnetic, the female, male, the positive, negative, and the eating of the knowledge of the tree of life. So the brain, the mind, the thinking, and that we've got stuck in our heads for all these things, all of these problems. Literally, every problem you can imagine is because of this. This is the origin story of our problems. And the solution is that simple, like we just did, is to have a semblance, and it's not, you don't even have to control or structure your emotions and be like tense. You just need to train your responses to go to the right direction. And then you don't need to waste so much of your precious energy and life force on all of those to spiral yourself down. And I know, that's just tires. I get it, right? That's like not someone coming at you with a knife, right? But that's just an escalation of the same energy. Yeah. Now, things get to a place because we haven't done the work. And this is why we're not blaming the victims here, because it isn't ultimately anyone's fault. It's not their fault. It is. It just is, because we've ignored or been waylaid away from this awareness. That's all. It's simply for lack of awareness, and we can repair it. And we can prevent more of this. And I think this is part of the whole awakening process. This is why we go through suffering. This is why we go through loss. We go through it difficult before we make it simple. This is life, And there's things that we need to grow and learn through. There's conscious awareness that expands, and it takes time to expand. Hence the suffering. And then we get to a place where we end suffering, where we choose not to anymore. And that's where I would like to see us go. And I think that's where we actually are naturally heading. But the those who don't want us to remember our power and know that we are the power, do everything they can to keep us away from it. And hence all the trauma, hence all the false flags, hence all the propaganda, hence all the work they do to psychologically manipulate us, to confuse us. So the confusion's up here, but the confusion is not in here. It's never in here. The clarity is in here. So anytime you feel lost or confused, get out of your head and get into your body, and you will find the answers. You will find the information. You will release the needed energy for the creative output, right? Because creativity takes a burst of energy. Yes, just reading your lovely comments. Question. Amanda, is this not prayer, praying for our enemies and forgiving, overcome the evil with the good? Sure. I mean, now we have language, right? Like, what is prayer? Now we have to define prayer, right? In a way, yes, it's prayer, but it's I know a lot of people pray outwardly. That's all. So it's like an inward prayer, right? So you're praying, but it's a different sensation than this. So the envisioning is different when you're praying. So I'm going to pray for so and so, right? When I think of so and so, I'm thinking of them in my mind where they live or something, or over there, you know? Like, so when I actually will pray for someone in the past, that's how I think. I think of the person maybe in front of me or where they're living or something like that. But this is a type of prayer where you're giving and offering the blessing without pushing the prayer either. Like I was saying, you know, we're just offering it and you can take it or leave it. So, but it's through the body. So it's an inward prayer. So you see that person as like a homunculi, like inside of you instead. So it's a little shift in the way that you're praying. But yes, we can call this prayer, right? Or a mass. What is a mass? A mass is when many get together to pray. Well, we just had a mass, but we did the praying from the inside of ourselves, through ourselves, right? That's the big shift here, rather than envisioning it outward, all on this way, which involves the mind. This is the body. We're doing it through the body, right? Through the sensations, through the feelings. I hope that was clear. And I know a lot of these concepts, you know, it's taking me a long time even to get the words around some of these things. Because again, when we come to the way we come home to truth is like, it's like a big amount of pile of stuff here. And then we whittle it down and whittle it down. And then we finally find the path through and it becomes swift and simple, right? So it's always complicated before it's not. So our own raising frequency in myself affects the world. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Absolutely. In multiple ways, actually. For one, through the understanding that everything's connected. Okay. If you ever read a book called Hands of Light by Barbara Brennan, she was a clairvoyant and she could see energy fields. So she actually painted them. And so there are pictures of her interacting with someone else, an individual interacting with another individual who has a field of anger or is pulling on someone's energy field. So now imagine you working on these feelings that all have colors and energies and arrows and all kinds of shapes when you can visualize it. And then you actually clear this and clean this, and you've lifted yourself and you're walking around like that. What are your interactions with the world going to look like? How does that look? So you're affecting others by doing this, right? It's like when people see you if you're depressed versus someone who sees you when you're happy. That's going to affect other people. Well, it's the same idea, you know, with your frequency, with how your biofield, okay? It's like a physical body part. It's not a woo-woo whatever concept. It's like an actual measurable physical thing. So that will affect other people. And your heart field is 6 feet as well. That's from the Heart Math Institute. They've done actually that science, that we have a heart field at 6 feet. That's why they wanted us 6 feet apart from each other during the COVID Olympics, right? So that we didn't connect our hearts, that we didn't support each other with love. And then we have a whole other tube torus field that's even bigger. So we have multiple layers of fields that can affect the world. So as we work on ourselves, this changes, this energy changes. And yes, this is what I say when I talk about projection, that we internally project out into the world our reality. That's what I mean, through the vision, through the way we see our world, but also through the way we meet our world energetically, vibrationally. So yes, and people joke like, oh, how could I ever meditate and heal like Gaza? I'm like, how else are you going to heal Gaza at this point, you know? This is, and then the beauty is this will happen. As you clear the energies this way, then you begin to get creative solutions, and you may get beautiful inspiration that really is hands right in the field. You might go, I know what I need to do now. I need to get in a plane and go, or I need to do this, or I need to start this fund, or I need to start this solution. I know the solution. The physical solution will manifest from the vibrational solution. So you could actually realize, yes, this is my calling, my path. This is what I am supposed to do. It involves this, or somewhere else that they're suffering. You might go, I'm from Congo. Well, I want to go there. I want to be there. I want to host whatever. I'm just putting out ideas, but you would have the creative idea, the energy freed up, where then the real resolve starts to come in the physical, because it begins here. And then it starts to manifest outward. And so then the actual physical manifestations can come from this, the correct ones, rather than the ones that they're trying to make us do, which is, as I mentioned, they want us to yell for them to go in with guns and stop the bad people, which will be more killing, which perpetuates the same energies. It'll just go through another generation and another generation and another generation. Now the bad American killed my dad. Now, right? So more hatred, more division, more death. It's not going to stop. So I'll take a couple more comments, and I think we did really great work. I'm really proud of you all. I really felt and I'd like to thank the original person who invited me to do this, because I was not getting any internal invites to do any work around this. And I was wondering what was going on, because usually I'm called into stuff like this. And I just I was like, okay, maybe I'll just get informed. I'll do whatever. And then a woman literally yesterday posted on my Facebook page and said, so, and I got the call, like, oh, she was basically saying, what's the solution then? Is this going within? Is this what we're supposed to do? And I wasn't even sure if she was genuine or not, but it didn't matter, because it turned out she was. But, at the moment I was like, oh, okay, because I know when I have to only do things when I have an invitation, when I have an offer on the table. My path is I'm not allowed to intervene like that unless there's a proxy offer or some sort of offer coming through. So there it is. I got the offer. So I'm really grateful to that person for this. A lot of people misunderstand me. They misunderstand my passion. They misunderstand my own communication with people that are truthers when I get heated. So, but I'm always thinking about other people. I'm always wanting to resolve conflict that is my job to do. If it's my job, then I will do it. And I envision our world in a beautiful way. continually. And I know that healing the individual is the way to heal the bigger picture. That's the work I do at Yummy.Doctor, to try to help people to doctor themselves and not give their power away to doctors anymore, and to learn that about their bodies and be empowered about their bodies completely. And then they transform their bodies, and then they transform their lives. And then when they transform their lives, they transform their families' lives, and so on and so on, and that transforms the world. And that's the ultimate truth. That's as close to the penultimate of truth that I could come. So I'm glad. I know that I'm very glad, because just saying it on the internet doesn't always resonate, right? Yes, I know, Lori. That's funny. I already had the inspiration to do a bunch of different guided meditations and offer them. So I will do some. I will do like a series of them, but you're right. That's funny. I alone with people all around. I've learned to observe, not to absorb. The best lesson I've learned so far. Yes. To not take on the transference, and to hold. Can you hold your own space? Can you hold your energy? Do you know who you are? And can you be in that an unwavering way, but still carry unconditional love, have boundaries, but also unconditional love? Be able to be the stern mother when it calls for, sometimes you do have to roar like a bear. I totally understand that. Sometimes you have to viciously protect your young. I totally understand that. Someone asked, who wasn't understanding me on my Instagram, you expect these people not to defend themselves or something. And I don't know how that person got to that answer, because I'm saying none of that. But if you are coming from inspired action and truth inside of your body, you will know when it's correct time to act and to defend yourself, right? It doesn't mean just sit there and I'm meditating, all's cool. No, there might be a hurricane coming and you need to act. But when your intuition is sharp because you cleared yourself up and you're able to have that creative energy inside of you, then you know when to act in the moment. And that's what I envision, when we were doing our meditation, I was envisioning that all those people who are in so much stress and trauma and pain and confusion right now, that it released for them, and that they find that inside of themselves, so they know intuitively where to be, and or that their guides will place them where they need to be. So if some area is going to get bombed, they're not there. They're somewhere else. So, this is, instead of the cowering and fear thing, which is where they got you, right? You're continually in that stress. It begets more. It's a terrible place to be in. And that's where they need a rescue. That's where they need a lift. That's where they need us energetically, as we just did, to help them so that they can have some assistance, because that's a vicious cycle, total vicious cycle. But yeah, sometimes you need to defend yourself. In the truth of the matter, when you eventually dissolve all this, okay, now this is layers and layers and generations of work to be done here. But once it's all done, ultimately there wouldn't be that kind of discordance, ultimately, right? It would no longer be necessary for the teachings. So sometimes when a hurricane is coming, medication can also calm the winds. And you're right. And I had an experience of this because, they're doing a lot of weather modification. And here where I live is a really big forest, a beautiful forest. And this was a couple years ago, I think already, they had what's called a Dara show. I don't know, fancy name for crap they make up. But anyway, and it was very violent winds, extremely heavy winds. And it was kind of scary. And you were, hearing cracking trees, and power was out a lot. And I did that. I went in meditation, and I imagined my whole area of land, and I put just protection over it. And I did work on the property. And I do this a lot, but I did work that day on the property. And I had one main tree down. Nothing touched my house. Nothing touched anything. No real damage. Nothing major. where other people had like basically this whole line of sight knocked down trees. Like it was disastrous, the damage. So yes, I do feel that if we spiral down in fear for all these events that happen, it's worse. We can protect our properties as well doing this work. What else are you going to do? Cower in fear, be stressed, drink alcohol and try to run away from the sensations? No, that's where a lot of these addictions are coming from. People will not face the pain. They won't go into the pain. They refuse to. Instead, they drink it away, or they smoke it away, or they do whatever the addiction is to get away from it. This is literally all their addiction problems. Instead, they have to go in. Now, if it feels impossible and insurmountable, they may need support to do that, to help them go in there and touch that pain and realize that they can transmute it. They can go through it. But that's the answer. That's the solution. And it's very, very powerful. What was this one? I can relate to what someone does to you is the act. I had someone spit in my face. Most defiling act I've ever experienced. The old me would have whooped ass. It was the most important lesson ever. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, because now the spitting in the face, that's really personal. That's a boundary breach, right? Extraordinarily. And then there's going to be a trigger, right? How dare that person spit in my face? Who do they think they are? That's really rude. All the judgments about what spitting in the face means, defilement, boundary breach, tons of cascade of thoughts going on there. But to stand there and be neutral about that and just simply get a cloth and wipe it away, that's empowering. That might probably shock the other person, actually, because they probably are trying to incite violence from you, right? Why would someone spit in your face? They're trying to get going with a fight, right? They're sporting for it. It's fascinating. Yes, can you do them for Insight Timer? Oops, where is it? Insight Timer. Is that an app or a website? That way your meditation will record and save for money to use at any time. Yeah, I'll look into it. I never heard of that. But my meditations would be available on my website anyway for people to watch because I have my own server. So, yes, standing in your power with grace. Well, I thank you for tonight. I know it's Saturday night, and you might have other things that you were going to do, but this is really the thing. This is the important thing to do. And I invite you to continue to do so, to continue to do the clearing. You always now have a way to respond. And you now always know when you're stressed or upset what to do, what you can do. You always have it. It's a tool, it's a skill, and it's really a gift. And yes, you contain all the seeds of your own freedom and your own empowerment. And I wish the best for all of you. And I send all of my love to the world for all the suffering that's happening. And I'll continue to do that work now internally as well. It's a lot of people are really triggered by the Gaza situation, and we really need to try, as much as we're consuming, we want to be informed, about what's going on and everything. It's like a really fine dance between being informed, being obsessed about it, and over focused on it. It's really easy to do that in social media these days. And it's so negative. There's just so much of it. Like boom, boom. Like we're gonna have this and this. All these bad things are gonna happen. And what happens is we start believing it. I mean, really, like it goes in our mind, and then we believe this is going to happen, and we get angry. And really, anger is actually fear. Like it's fear of something that's going to happen, and we feel like we have to do something about it. So then this rush of energy comes, this anger comes, right? But there's an underlying fear that pins that. And so we have to really walk a fine line between awareness and our peace of mind and our clarity around everything, and then our own manifestation, our own using our own power, not to feed it to them so that they come back and just give us the enslavement, that we decide that we're the ones who are creating what we want going forward. And it is going to be, we're walking through the eye of the needle now. So the tests are hard. They get harder every day. That's just how it goes. You got to pass you pass the one level, and then you got to pass the next level, and then you pass the next level, and then you get the boss level, right? We're totally at a boss level right now. Right. This is like heavier than really even COVID in a strange way, right? Because it's more concentrated intensity and death than this sort of like bleed out, slow death kind of thing that's been happening. And there's children, and they always work with the children to get us, that gets us the most triggered and the most upset. I do have a guided inner child meditation I also recommend, because a lot of the times the most triggering we get about this stuff, and a lot of it might even be propaganda. I'm not saying it's not happening. I know it's happening, but I'm also saying as well, they're going to lay on the propaganda thick to really get that fear and anger about how dare they do it to children, like kill adults. Killing adults in our heads feels different than a child, an innocent, right? An innocent. So they're really working on us hard. So we must try to remain clear and do this work as often as we can. So, because they want as much anger from us as possible so that we demand the war. And then they get it, because we're the ones with the power. So we're the ones who have it happen. Yes. So we're going to do this. We're going to stay exactly balanced and heart-centered. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to listen within, and we're going to feel all our feelings. We're not going to avoid that. And we're going to pass our tests. That's what we're here to do. And then we're going to work on our creative endeavors on solutions-based, all solutions, and prevent any more of this from happening, because it is within our purview. We can do it. Okay, I'm going to sign off now. So much love to you. Thank you so much for doing this work together. We did some really amazing energy work tonight, and it's very valuable what we've done. And I will consider doing this again at some point in time. So lots of love. Stay clear, and we'll talk again soon. Okay? All right. Bye for now.